Hey guys, welcome out to the Pod of War channel. It's Dave, or with Gizmo, and I'm here with a bit of a random video today. We're looking at Voice of Cards, the Isle of Dragon Roars, which is coming to the Switch, the PS4 and Steam on the 28th of October. It's like a card-based RPG from Yoko, Taro, who made Nier and Drakengard, and it's been published by Square Enix. So, copying Chris, I'm just doing one of these weird videos where I kind of do a bit of an intro, talk about the game, and then I just throw some footage up. So, yeah, so they've got the demo, which is like a prelude, I guess, to like the main game, and it's quite impressive so far. So it's basically, from what I can tell, like a story-based, like narrated, like almost like board game, I guess. So you know, everything's cards. That's the gimmick. You move on a world map of cards, your characters are cards, your attacks are cards. It's very card based, so which is kind of new and kind of interesting. I know Yoko Taro has talked about this is the game that he's really wanted to make, and it got announced fairly recently, so that is pretty cool. So first things first is the whole game is narrated, and it even does this funny little thing at the beginning where the narration literally says to you, this would be better with the sound on, but you know, I'm subtitled anyway, which is kind of a weird 4-4 break, but I kind of like that. I don't know if it's the same voice actor as Grimoire Weiss from Nier Replicant, but it kind of sounds like him, so I wouldn't be surprised if it is the same guy. Nier fans in the comments tell me if it is, but yeah, so actually so far I'm quite impressed. The storytelling seems really top tier, because obviously when you see a card game, you kind of presume, oh, it's just some cheap eShop game, right? Well, it's not. It's a £25, $30 like full release. It's not physical over here, which is a bit annoying, but whatever. And yeah, so the voice acting is pretty good. The story already seems like it's typical Yoko Taro, so it seems quite high fantasy with like a level of realism. So he likes to have dark twists and turns. So far I haven't had that yet from the 20 minutes of the footage that I'm showing, but I would imagine that happens. No swearing or anything so far, but again, it's a Yoko Taro game, so I would expect that. So if you're going to buy this for kids, I probably wouldn't, if I'm honest. But yeah, so the combat system is pretty much a turn-based RPG a la Final Fantasy or something like that, but obviously it uses cards and it uses gems. It does this cool thing, which I think we see in the video, where it sort of zooms out to basically a board, and you've got like a little box of like gem counters. It really reminds me of, like, I used to play a lot of like Warhammer, so it kind of reminds me of the, like, you know, the usages for that, like rolling dice and all that kind of stuff. And I know later on in the trailer it showed there was dice, there was different types of cards. I think there was suits on some of the cards in the trailer, like hearts and diamonds or whatever, so I'm interested to see how the system gets deeper. For the battle that I do in this video, it's very simple, very straightforward. It's the tutorial battle, so that's fine. You go to the towns, which are also cards, you get your armor, all that stuff, exactly like you would normally do in a Final Fantasy game, which I like, and I think works really well for Switch. This game is on Steam and PS4, like I said, so I'm not sure, you know, how it's going to translate being a sort of whole TV experience. Like, I kind of like the idea of sort of lying on my sofa with my Switch and my new Bluetooth-enabled headphones on and just sort of listening to the narration and playing the game. So I think that's how I'll probably do it, but you can play it on PC and PS4 if you want those sweet trophies and achievements. But yeah, so this prelude starts with this, I think it's Order of Ivory, something like that, which is like 3 heroes. You got your generic buff guy, generic wizard guy, and big boobed hot anime leader girl. I feel like it's like definitely going to be a swerve with these 3, because in the trailers these are not the 3 characters you see, so I do wonder if there's they get killed or they're villains or something. But again, I haven't finished the demo as of recording this, so I'm not going to speculate on that. But yeah, so overall from the passage I saw, it seems pretty deep. It's cool that you can, every character you seem to meet in the towns gets their own little character page, and in the demo you'll see that I go to flip them over and it just says, right, you get all this stuff in the full game. That's fine, the full game's a month away, so we can see all that good stuff there. But yeah, so to finish my ramble, the demo is available at the moment. I would definitely put this on the recommend list for Switch and PS4 and Steam. It's weird it's not on Xbox, considering the other Nier games are, but you know, it's like with Square Enix at the moment, they're kind of weird with Xbox. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the demo. At least I recommend playing it on Switch if you can, just because I think the headphone experience is really the way to go.
It seems the
And yeah, and then you can pre-order the game on the eShop or whatever. £25 for the normal edition. There is a bundle that has loads of Nier stuff. I don't really think it's necessary. Looking at it, it's like avatars, it's like skins for the cards, which is cool, but like I'm not a huge Nier fan. Like I like what I've played of both the games. I played Replicant back in the day when it wasn't called Replicant, it was just called Nier, and I've played a tiny bit of Automata, which I know I need to finish. I can't believe Craig's finished it, but I haven't, but there you go. But yeah, so here is about another like 10 minutes of footage. Apologise for the rambling. If you like videos like this, say in the comment and we can do some more. It's really difficult to talk to yourself. But yeah, that is Voice of Cards, the Isle of Dragon Roars, and I will see you back on the podcast.
The Fellowship asks the Queen what the royal treasure is. The Queen describes a bottle containing a certain liquid. Without it, she trails off, but the desperation in her voice suggests its loss could spell disaster for the kingdom. Usually, one would expect recompense for this sort of undertaking, as demanding a reward would go against the tenets of the Ivory Order. You hold your tongue. The Queen, however, has already said she will reward the Fellowship with whatever they desire. It seems the royal treasure is just that important. Pray tarry no longer here. I await news of your success. The Fellowship bows and takes their leave. We can waste no time finding the treasure. Winifred strides toward town. Wait, cries Berwin, blocking Winifred's path. A monster. You dare stand in our way? Hedwyn scowls at the foul creature. It lunges at the Fellowship. About the enemy. Winifred heaves a disgruntled sigh as she smooths, showing no signs of weariness from battle. Berwin silently wipes the monster's ichor from his weapon. Hedwyn inspects the remains of their foe. The Queen spoke true, he mutters, his face masked in contemplation. Winifred gives a grim nod at his words. Mayhap the treasure's theft and the monster's behavior are connected somehow. First things first, The Fellowship needs to gather more information. To Nexton, they set their sights. Welcome to Nexton, hails a man. The man doesn't respond to any question except to parrot back his original greeting. The Fellowship asks if he's heard any. The man's eyes widen. He leans close to Winifred and whispers something in her ear. Welcome to Nexton. I'm too scared to leave town with all those monsters out there, the woman sighs. The man helpfully advises you take the opportunity to purchase equipment and curatives while you are in town. How may I help you? The proprietor inquires. Will that be all? The proprietor asks. A woman sits hunched over by the side of the road. Upon catching sight of the Fellowship, she calls out for their aid. She's sprained her ankle and needs you to take her to the nearby apothecary. Winifred rushes to her and helps her up. Berwin lifts the woman onto his back, and the Fellowship sets out in search of an apothecary. You arrive at the apothecary. After taking a curative, the woman begins hopping. Nothing holds a candle to Ivory Order medicine, she beams. She turns to the Fellowship, her eyes widening in surprise. You three. It seems she's only now realized the Fellowship are disciples of the Ivory Order. The woman takes each of their hands in turn, thanking them for their service. The Ivory Order is famous for providing medical supplies throughout the realm, and indeed the wider world. Every smile the Order brings to someone's face makes Winifred proud to be a disciple. The man claims he saw a suspicious someone leaving the castle grounds carrying what looked to be a medicine bottle. He didn't get a good look at their face, but says they were nothing but skin and bone. The Fellowship thanks the man for the useful information. The woman begs the Fellowship for their autographs. She seems to greatly admire the Order. I know there's nothing to worry about with disciples of the Order here, she says, relief flooding her features. Upon asking, the woman says she was attacked by a monster outside of town. A strange creature, she says, nothing but bones, and it clutched a bottle of medicine as if its life depended on it. Apparently, there's a monster lurking around the outskirts of town stealing medicine, and only medicine. Rumors claim the monster fled to the west. Thanks to the information gleaned from the townsfolk, the Fellowship is all but certain of who has stolen the royal treasure. The first clue was the Queen's description of the treasure, a small bottle containing a certain liquid. Then there's the bony figure seen fleeing town, the skeletal monster clutching the bottle of medicine, and the monster that fled west. From all that information, the Fellowship distills the thief's true identity. Realization strikes Winifred. I know who our thief, the monster made of bones, Hedwyn interjects, the one that fled west. Berwyn nods in agreement, as if to say, another sage pronouncement from the great and wise Hedwyn. Winifred clears her throat, proclaims that the Fellowship shall head west, out of town, and walks off.